Thanks, Todd. On Saturday, September 17th, from 9 to 12, we're going to gather downstairs, all of us, with Peggy, to begin crafting a new mission statement for our congregation. Who can tell me what our mission statement is now? Aha! A year ago, I was asked to find our mission statement. I went on a deep dive. I found 3 versions, similar. They could describe the work of about any congregation anywhere. They read kind of textbookish. They didn't sing. What drives us forward to be the very presence of Christ here, day in and day out, to look up, to dream what we can't see? Let me tell you a little story, a true story, about a people with a vision and a mission, and finally, a people with a song. Many of us go back a long way, even before 64? Okay, 1960. March 21st, 1960. I was in 6th grade. In a township in South Africa called Sharpeville, the police and the South African military opened fire with machine guns and massacred over 60 black and colored demonstrators, many of them women and children. They wounded over 180. The Sharpeville Massacre, as it came to be called around the world, drew attention and focus to the violent and oppressive apartheid regime, the policies enforced by the white South African government that designated 80% of the land of that country as whites only, and required blacks and coloreds, those of mixed race, to carry passbooks so they could enter white-only territory and be gardeners and housemaids. The events of that day led to the formation of the Uniting Reformed Church of Southern Africa, which separated from their white overseers, the Dutch Reformed Church, that had given the theological and philosophical basis for the apartheid regime of the state. The young church and its founders hoped for what they could not see. They had a vision of a free South Africa for all people, blacks, colored, Asians, whites. They had a mission. It consisted of 3 words: unity, reconciliation, and justice. It took more than a generation of hope in the unseen. The vision and the mission continued to drive them. Their mission evolved beyond 3 words to a statement of faith called the Belhar Confession, that's since been adopted by Reformed, Presbyterian, and I assume Congregational churches throughout the world as a standard of faith. Fast forward from 1960 to 1994. That was the year the vision became visible. Nelson Mandela, recently released from prison, became the founding president of a new South Africa. I was there. I was heading a delegation for my church here in the United States. We had stood beside the Uniting Church since the early 1970s because our name here also carried the name Dutch Reformed. We could do no other. We were invited to Sharpeville for service of celebration, unity, justice, and peace. I have little recollection of the words I said. But I do remember, as soon as I was finished speaking, the choir director stood and said, "They tried to take everything from us. They killed our women and our children. They enslaved us. They gave us passbooks to enter their homes, clean their gardens and houses. What they couldn't take away was our voices." And at that moment, the massed choir from all the surrounding churches in that little sanctuary in Sharpeville, across the street from the field where so many had been massacred, burst into song with a hymn I think you know. It's actually number 366 in our hymn books. Sayahamba ekukahanyan kwenhokahos. We are walking in the light of God. Let's come together on September 17th. Peggy will lead us in a process as we begin forming a vision and a mission for our work as a community of Christ's people here. By the grace of God, maybe we'll come up with something we can sing. Amen.